Welcome back to the West Coast Davengers. I'm Dr. Dave, Mr. Comics Guy. So I actually picked up somewhat my first collection of the year. If you remember, last January, I dropped this video where I bought MJ's storage locker out. And almost a year to the day later, we met up because he had some stuff shipped from another location back home, and he's going through that stuff and selling it. So we met up, and I dug through it. And this time, I wasn't going to buy everything. I told him that. He knew it. But I picked out a bunch of stuff that I thought would be good for me and for my community and bought it. So I'm going to show you that in just a moment. Don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment down below, do all the things, help interact with the video and help it get out to more people. And consider subscribing if you're new here. I also have a podcast called Direct Edition, and you're seeing interviews with greats of the industry as well as other industries like Eric Canetti and Gary Whitta and Sebastian Bach of Skid Row talking about collecting comics. So let's take a look at all of the stuff I bought today, and then we'll come back and I'll say goodbye. All right, let's take a look at everything I got in the collection. I'll try and get to look through all of it so you can see everything. Some stuff I won't dwell on, and some stuff maybe I will. All right, so Ultra Heaven, Kiche Koike, or Koike Kiche. I don't know how to say Kike, whatever. Anyway, this is something that Sean, aka Japan Book Hunter, had brought into my orbit a couple years ago. This was published here in America as well as obviously in Japan, but his art is wild. Apparently, he's done a lot of drugs and his art reflects it. So I'm actually excited to read this. This is the first printing. Cool. Come on. In space, no one can hear you scream, but in space, you can still read a book. Walter Simonson and Archie Goodwin's adaptation of the classic Ridley Scott, Alien, which was originally printed in heavy metal. This is the collection. And hold that thought, because what else did I get? The artist edition. Excited to flip through this. I don't know if I'll keep it, but I definitely am excited to take a look at the original art by the King, Walter Simonson. And then I'll make a decision. Long out of print, so not a cheap book at all. All right, he had a whole bunch of the trades and the hardcovers of Jack Kirby collections, and he wanted to keep the trades, so I grabbed the hardcovers. Oh, Mac, look at that face. The Many Faces of Jack Kirby, which is a zine that I did, which is still in print. 25 bucks each. So there's OMAC, Jack Kirby's Fourth World Omnibus, which, New Gods and all the good stuff. And it's printed on this paper that really accentuates the colors. It's not digitally recolored, or if it is, it's not horribly digitally recolored. And then after that comes Fourth World. Oh, so that was volume 4. There's 3. There's all 4 Fourth World omnibuses. Let's look at this monstrosity. This is the Eric Canetti Kickstarter. Encore, Do You Want More? A little dirty. Oh, he said that the box was kind of janky. I just had Eric on my podcast, Direct Edition, talking about his 2-issue run on Absolute Batman that's coming out, or may already be out by the time you see this. But this is an artist edition, or a collection of his art. Pretty gorgeous. And then it comes with this print and the signed book plate. Cool. Let's go through the first box. He had an extra copy of Otomo's Akira. That's the Epic Collection. This is volume 4, I believe. Collection 7. Wasn't even close. So this is towards the end of the run. Colored by Steve Olive overseen by Otomo. You know, Steve Olive's the only person to ever blow off appearing on my podcast. We had a date scheduled, and then he just ghosted. It happens. I got a unopened box set of Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind by Miyazaki. Never read it, so maybe I'll read it, or maybe I won't. I do have a lot of the single issues, too. All right, what do we get here? We got some of Michel Fife's Copra. These are the compendiums. And Michel, friend, and friend of the channel as well. I'm going to be reading those first two compendiums, and then I got an extra one also, which will be for sale. And then this was, I guess, from the Cerebus Remastered thing that Dave Sim did, but I picked these up from him because you get the Todd card in there. All right, now more Kirby hardcovers. Newsboy Legion, Volume 1. Sandman, the original Sandman. Boy Commandos. Simon, so this is the Simon and Kirby stuff. I bought these because, I grabbed these because I hadn't read this since it came out, and I really wanted to reread this. So that's Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye, award-winning, everybody's favorite. Had a nice copy of Son of Origins, Stan Lee. Fireside, I guess? Yeah, that's a Fireside book. All right, I thought I would pick these up because I know the name Taiyo Matsumoto, and after spending a month in Japan, I want to explore some of these artists and writers that write their books, and reading it in the English format is definitely going to help that. So this is the 6-book set of Sunny by Matsumoto, and so I'm going to read it. I'm excited. Beautiful covers. The artwork's great too. I mean, okay, let's take a look at these. Gonna have to zoom all the way out for this. You can see my setup. I got some more artist editions. Now, once upon a time, this was a very expensive artist edition. I think it's still worth money that it's the first print, but this is the original printing of the Born Again artist edition. David Mazzucchelli, Frank Miller. And most people will cite this as one of the greatest runs in all of Marvel Comics history. It is fantastic. It's a gut-wrenching story with just absolutely perfect art by David Mazzucchelli. So fucking cool. It's so cool that all this stuff still existed when this was originally put together in 2012, I believe. And then I couldn't leave without buying some more Kirby stuff from him. Kamandi, The Last Boy on Earth, Artist Edition. I mean, when people say there's not a lot of Kirby art, a lot of it doesn't exist anymore. Well, clearly a lot of it did. To have oh my God, look at that crazy collage. That wasn't scanned from the original art. I mean, come on. You know, maybe if you are part of my Patreon, I often do exclusive video flip-throughs there, and I'll probably be doing a flip-through of at least one of these Kirby Artist Editions, if not both, because I also got New Gods. So cool. So goddamn. Oh. Oh. Hey. That's right. I forgot. That's what inspired McFarlane. All right, let's grab the first big pile of books here. He had a couple of copies of this, so I grabbed one. This is Osamu Tezuka, Lost World. I've never actually seen any of his stuff in English besides Astro Boy, so it'll be nice to check that out. Some Amazing Spider-Man novel-sized strips. Oh, there you go. 88, 89, and 90. Couple of Todd trades here. They're a little wavy, but this will be a nice lot for anybody that's interested in checking out some Todd, although this one's recolored and also not Todd, just the cover. Just the cover. And then obviously this is a classic one. Spidey vs. Venom. ASM 298, 299, 300, 301, and 316, and 315. I wanted to read Sandland, so he had a copy in English, and it's Toriyama. Can't go wrong with that, right? Some early Becky Cloonan that I've never seen before. East Coast Rising. Like, I didn't even know that she did Tokyo Pop stuff. She's one of my favorite creators. So, definitely excited to check this out. I don't know if it's more than one book. He just had this sitting there. I've wanted to reread Pilgrim for a while, but I've never actually read the color edition. So, scoop that. H.R. Geiger, one of the Taschen books that they did of him. Creator of such things as the Xenomorph and one of the greatest artists of a generation. This is a Digimon design guide from Japan. I thought this would be a smart pickup. This last time I bought his whole storage locker out. This time it didn't make sense right now to buy it all. So I picked out a whole bunch of stuff that I thought would work. We came to an agreement on $800 and he cleared up some space. I'll be buying some more stuff from him in a couple months. The Complete Jack Kirby Volume 1, 1917 to 1940. And then this book, the Mark Evanier book. It's funny, I almost bought the Japanese version of this when I was in Japan. But clearly, I didn't, because otherwise I said it did, you know. Anyway, great book, Mark Evanier. I forget who he said this was. Oh, yeah. So, Tsutomu Takashi, Alive. I thought this was a really cool looking book. Just great art. It's in Japanese. But that doesn't stop me from appreciating the great art. I've become a big fan of Atsushi Kaneko. This is one of his books that was printed in English. This is Bambi Volume 2. I have all his art books now. Now it's time to track down all of the stuff translated into English. He recently just finished up Search and Destroy via Fantagraphics. I absolutely love his art. This is just, I think this is a collection of Umez's, no, it's Mamoru Uchiyama, not Umez. Ultraman. Unless it is Umez, I don't know. I don't speak or read Japanese yet, so. But it's cool looking Ultraman. Now he said he didn't want to sell this, but if he was going to sell it, it would be to somebody like me. Alex Party's Awful Homesick, with a little sketch and signed by Alex. Alex is a good friend. Also, Alex has appeared on my podcast and on this channel. So you can check that out. I will link that in the description below. Or you'll see it on your screen right now. Either way, Awful Homesick. I don't know if this is his first book with Upper Playground. Hardcover, at least. He saw this in there, figured it would be a good pickup. It's Paulo Rivera's sketchbook. And, you know, Paulo's an absolute master of the painting and, you know, a staple of some of the most classic covers in comics in the last 30 years. Just fantastic. I might be getting this signed at OAX. I don't know if he's there this year. I thought this was cool. Obviously, everything I buy I think is somewhat cool. Futurama and Simpsons crossover event. Plus a reprint of issue number 1. Cover gallery. Back matter. I'm assuming this is mostly, if not all, Bill Morrison stuff. Nope. James Lloyd. So I was really wrong, but he probably did all the covers. Classic here, Daredevil Love and War. I think this is what it's called. Maybe it's just called Daredevil. No, it's Love and War. Bill Sienkiewicz, and Frank Miller. This is a special one. This was just sitting there, and I'm like, I have to buy this because the West Coast Davengers does not exist without Dave Correa. He is the other Davenger, and this is his first ever art book. And it's funny because we were just chatting about this. He said it's probably from about 2007, which is almost 20 years ago. And he said he always bugged him that there was a typo on the front page. And, well, oh, Dave, I had to. This is a Sienkiewicz book that I've never owned. Voodoo Child. Story of Jimi Hendrix. Because I'm a voodoo child, voodoo child, voodoo child. Lord knows I'm a voodoo child. Anyway, I won't put you through any more of that. I guess the CD. Oh, there's the CD. And then this, which I've never owned before also. It's the Santa, My Life and Times, illustrated. Who ever knew that we needed a book about Santa Claus illustrated by the great Bill Sienkiewicz? Well, we did. The first volume of Haunt, the hardcover, Todd McFarlane, Robert Kirkman, Ryan Otley, and Greg Capullo. That's probably really out of print. I always grab these when I can find them. Joe Jusko cover on Spider-Man Fear Itself. Original graphic novel. Who did the art in this? Russ Andrew. And another one. You know, when you see Sienkiewicz, you buy Sienkiewicz. This is like the best part of his Moon Knight run, the second part of the Essentials, because that's when he started getting real kind of Sienkiewicz. And you can see the evolution, like, you know, from the first issue in this, and then, like, as you go, well, I don't think this is saying, oh, yeah, it is. But as you get towards the end of it, it goes full on Sienkiewicz. He really comes into his own in this book. All right, well, this was supposed to be the continuation of Life Death, Barry Windsor Smith's great X-Men story about Storm and Forge. But it didn't happen, so it became Ad Astra in Africa, which is just wild stuff. I think I have a copy of this, and I think it's signed, so if I don't, well, now I have a copy of it. I've never read Parker, and I really do love looking at Darwin Cook's art, so why not start now and read the first Parker? I think this is out of print, but I could be wrong. This is the hardcover Taschen H.R. Geiger book, which is way more of a look inside his art than the other book is. Wild stuff. Just the designs. The man was out of this world, literally and figuratively. This is something I've never seen before. Ramon Perez adapting Henson's lost screenplay, Tale of Sand. I don't know anything about this. I flipped through it and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to find out about this. Beautiful. Ramon Perez's art is stunning. All right, so I usually don't mess around with buying essentials. I know some of them are worth money. I know a lot of them are fun to look through. People love the black and white aesthetic of this. But I had to pick this up because this is my beginning of comics reading right here. Is this specific run. Claremont, Buscema. Here you go. Claremont, Buscema, Peter David, Archie Goodwin, and John Byrne doing those first 23 issues of Wolverine. And I really wanted to reread the beginning of Wolverine's run. First 50 issues to me are gold. And so what better way to check it out than to see it for the first time in black and white. Jack Kirby, Silver Star. Just another, he had a bunch of Kirby stuff, so I was just scooping what I could, what he did not want to keep. Tim Sale's sketchbook from Essential Sequential in 2014, the late, great Tim Sale. It is signed right there. I mean, I've said it so many times on this channel. I've said it so many times just in general about comics. He is one of the most unique artists with this just beautiful style that nothing could come close to it. And I'm glad I scooped this. A book that I've never seen before, Star Wars panel to panel from the pages of Dark Horse Comics. So this is like all the stuff from early Dark Horse covers. And I think it may just be covers actually. Oh no, there's some interiors in here. So just thought this was an easy thing to pick up. But if there's no Jar Jar Binks art in here, do I really want it? Misa saying, oh, I'm on the wall. Yeah, so this is like the first 10 or so years of Dark Horse. And then this, which I did not know anything about, it's called Sullivan Sluggers, Mark Andrew Smith and James Stokey. This was a Kickstarter, he said, that apparently was fraught with lots of delays and promised things that took way too long. And so I don't know, but it's James Stokey and his art is pretty unique. I don't know anything about this book. Pretty cool looking though. Monsters and baseball. Have you seen my baseball? Let's see if I know anybody that did covers here. Or pinups or whatever these are. James Harron. Dan Duncan. And then it comes with a sheet of trading cards. Pretty cool. Won't be keeping that, but I'm sure somebody will want it. And now we come to one more box. Oh gosh. Some more Kirby trade paperbacks, Fighting American and Silver Star, and then his Black Panther run, which I can't tell you the last time that Marvel reprinted this. And what's cool about this, the Silver Star, is the pencils only. His pencils were amazing. Fucking Jack Kirby's amazing. And then I think this is the last of the Kirby stuff. The Omnibus Volume 2, starring the Superpowers, which are, you know, not everybody loves his Superpowers run, but it's still Kirby. Look at that. All right, let's see what we got here. Run, Love, Kill from Eric Canetti, signed and sketched by Eric Canetti. And there's another issue 2 just signed by, I'm assuming that's Sue, the writer. Shaolin Cowboy number 3, Jeff Darrow. Rick and Morty, The Ball Fondlers, signed by variant cover artist Andrew McLean. TMNT IDW special, the Godzilla Half-Century War, which there was only that one issue. Got a whole bunch of Saga from him. 30, there's a huge run of it. 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. Issue number 1's in here somewhere. I've never heard, I don't know anything about this, but it's Mobius, French Ticklers, 3 issues from Kitchen Sink. Shaolin Cowboy number 1 with, I'll get that price sticker off. May leave some residue, but it's the first issue. Bunch of Madman issues from Image, including the famous one where he had like, yeah, this is the issue where he homaged a different artist, I think, on each panel. It's pretty amazing. Cartoonist Kayfabe covered this. It just shows the artistic talent of Mike Allred. It's crazy. I got a huge run of more Haunt from him, including the Ryan Otley variant cover for 2. Let's see if there are any other variant covers here. Yeah, there's the Otley variant cover for 5, which are a lot tougher to get. I think they might have been 1 in 10. Some of these, yeah, he doesn't have all of them, but some of those go for some crazy money, I think, as the later issues go. Yeah, so here's the Larson cover for issue number 13. So I don't know which one's the variant, that or the Otley. I thought this was cool. David Finch, maybe that's a 1 in 10 Batman Dark Knight. Monsters on the Prowl, number 11. Little chunk of Love and Rockets. I think this is volume 4. Let's see, 1918, issue 3. Oh, well, there's just a random 8-ball in there. Luba. Penny Century, New Love. I didn't even realize that stuff was in there. Can't go wrong with some Metal Gear Solid single issues, issue 1, 2, and 3. Not in the best condition, but good reader copies for people. Only the second time I've ever seen this, and I already have this, so I'm going to move this on to somebody else, but this is the Ed Piskor Hip Hop Family Tree Comics Hip Hop Connection Ashcan, where he does the best of Rob Liefeld ever. Such a classic. A couple of copies of my friend Alex Party's Bunny With, issue 2, and we got the Butcher King zine with him and Skinner in here. Hey, and another Dave Correa piece. A couple of postcards, Rob Bowen and Alex. This Butcher King zine is hilarious. I think I have it somewhere. Some Katie Skelly old work, Operation Margarine, 4 issues. Some old Ben Mara, Terror Assaulter, Amwat. I wonder if this is the first way it was ever printed. The Art of Juan Gedeon, that crazy piece. Juan did, to Sean. Juan did that, he did the one Jurassic League. I think he did that with Daniel Warren Johnson. He's got a great style. And then this is something called Decadence Comics, which he just showed to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta have this. It's a couple of different creators in here, but some really cool stuff. Lots of Mobius looking stuff in here. Some Dragon Ball doujinshi that he had. Oh, I think that's actually, is that actually on there? No, that's printed on there. I mean, I have this. It took me a while to track it down, and now I have 2 copies, which is the famous Bart Kira. It's done by so many different artists. But this is the one that they released, I guess, publicly. That wasn't the part of the Kickstarter, I believe. Let's see if the credits are in here. There you go. Danny Hines is in here. Good pal of the channel. I know Cameron Stewart, Jacob Shabbat, Bart Kira. This was just randomly in there. First appearance of Echo. And then along with that, I've got a full set of Daredevil Yellow, which is fantastic. Loeb & Sale. Must read if you are a fan of either the character or the creators. There's an early Tim Sale graphic novel, Billy 99. I don't know anything about this. Looks like a crime thing. Then there were some random issues of Tradmore and Felipe Smith's Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes. First appearance wasn't in there, but 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then a 5th printing of the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. Spider-Verse number 2. These I have never been able to find myself in the wild, and now I have. I think they were from... They were like not a serial, but it was like with a video or something. These mini Todd McFarlane Amazing Spider-Mans. And those are going in my personal collection, my Todd collection. Snagged this, but the reason why I snagged this was because behind Detective 881, I noticed there was a Detective 880. All right, and then we got some Shaolin Cowboy single issues, some of the late Haunt issues that Joe Casey and Nathan Fox did. I think these are really tough to find. So for anybody looking to put together a run, there's a whole bunch of them. And then a Saga number 1 and a Saga number 2. And then it jumped to 10. They were kind of scattered between a couple of boxes. Could probably put together a run of the first 25 issues. He has a lot of trade paperbacks, a lot of out-of-print stuff, and including the X-Men Visionaries Neil Adams, which is that, what issues, 20, 30, 40 something? I forget. But it's, I like it. I mean, it's dynamic as fuck, right? It's some of the more dynamic early X-Men stuff. Green Wake, I've been wanting to read this. This is a Riley Rossmo book. Riley recently just did the Mood is Following Us with Daniel Warren Johnson. And then Kiyomiya, Batman, Child of Dreams. English adapted by Max Allan Collins. This is originally released in Japan. Clearly, you can tell by the style. Can never hurt to have more copies of Dark Knight. Deluxe edition. So I guess this is the first two. Dark Knight and then Dark Knight Strikes Again. Yeah. See Todd by Todd also applies to trade paperbacks. Invasion by Todd and Keith Giffen and Bart Sears. The first volume of Bissett, Moore, Toddlebin's classic Swamp Thing run. I've never seen this hardcover. DC Universe by Mike Mignola. So I'm assuming... All right, so Phantom Stranger, World of Krypton, Action Comics, does it go up to... No, it doesn't have Cosmic Odyssey, I guess. But early work by Mignola. And some of his best DC work. Spider-Man Tangled Web, first volume. Flowers for Rhino instead of flowers for Algernon. Plus it looks like, let's see. Yeah, it's just the first bunch of issues. Rucka and Rizzo. I didn't know Rucka and Rizzo did an issue. Anyway. I still haven't read this, so I figured it was a good opportunity to read Tom King's The Vision. People say they love it. Some people hate Tom King, but they all love that. Transformers, I believe this was IDW, just a volume 4. I'm assuming this is just out of print stuff, which usually people want to pick up. Another one that's probably way out of print, Zombies vs. Robots by Chris Rial and, more importantly, Ashley Judd. Ashley Judd. More importantly, Ashley Wood. I'm leaving that in there. And then more Ashley Wood. Tank Girl the Gifting trade paperback. And Rufus Dayglow. Written by Al Martin, who's a co-creator of Tank Girl. More Metal Gear stuff coming along the way here. We're almost done here. All 3 trade paperbacks, speaking of more Ashley Wood. Sons of Liberty. Volume 2. And Volume 1. Oh, so Sons of Liberty is its own thing. And then Metal Gear Solid Tactical Espionage Action. That's both volumes. Another hard-to-find out-of-print hardcover, The Star Wars, which is based on the original rough draft by George Lucas, and this was put out in a 12-issue, I think, miniseries, or a 10-issue miniseries via Dark Horse, but this is the collected hardcover. Since I was in Japan and I got to see Yoshikazu Yasuhiko, otherwise known as Yaz, I got to see the exhibition. I snagged this, the volume 1 of Joan, book 1. Beautiful stuff in English. I got to see some of this art in person, I believe. He's a big Paul Pope fan, so he had an extra one of these, the One Trick Ripoff. And it's signed. Oh, look at that. Signed by Paul Pope. Thought this was cool. Looks like the first bunch of issues of Adventure Time. First volume. All 6 issues, I guess. I don't know. 5 of 6. There's a couple of different ones. Then regular show and... oh, yeah. Mike Mignola's Dracula. X-Men. First omnibus of Silvestri and Jim Lee. So you're getting issues, the first Jubilee all the way to 268 and then a couple other things. I mean, arguably some of the best X-Men comics, art-wise at least. And yeah, that's it. I mean, $800, I can't go wrong, right? All right, well, I'm really happy with the results of this. There was some stuff in there that I really think is super out of print. There was a couple of things that were signed that I didn't even see, some stuff from friends. So if you're watching this, some of the stuff might be gone, but you can get a piece of the action. You can buy books from me right here on this channel. Every other Wednesday is West Coast Wednesday, and you can do it. It's claim sale style right on this wall. Oh, look at that message. And besides that, the Direct Edition podcast, it's got its own channel. It's also on every streaming service. You've seen interviews just this season of Jeff Darrow and Matteo Scalera and Gary Whitta and Robert Venditti. Anyway, please come and join. And lastly, I'll ask you this one other thing, besides like, subscribe, and comment. I have a Patreon which helps support this channel. $5 a month gets you bonus videos for both channels. We have a big community over there already. We do vote for, people get to vote for the books that I'm going to flip through as the exclusive videos. Plus every 2 months, there is a exclusive sale there only available to the Patreon. Some of this stuff will be on it for the next sale, which happens in March. Anyway, I hope you had a great time watching. I hope you enjoy reading comics, and take care of yourselves. And I'll see you next week or in 2 weeks on West Coast Davengers.